Boarding in progress.
Okay, so 5 o'clock. See you there.
Morning. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Oh.
It depends.
It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a good cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know, and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe hung where
That was what it was.
yeah. Waits for you.
All right. Where's everybody at?
I'm here.
Who's that?
It's me.
That's super helpful. Thank you.
It's Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
That you could see.
No, no, it's on like the background screen, so I can't see like, I can tell it's you now. The volume's up. Hold on here.
Got one more.
Let's see.
Vivi's here.
Hi, Vivi.
Good morning.
Let's see. Okay. You guys like the background music?
Love it. That was good.
I did it just for you.
Getting in the spirit.
Cool.
It's okay to do now. It's December.
Exactly. Anytime after Thanksgiving's okay. October, I don't know about that.
Michael was a little earlier. Okay. What's up, Torrin? How you doing, bud? Good. Good morning. How are you? All right. Renee, did you pick this song out? Maybe. All right. Okay. Everybody ready? Is my dad back there resting? Are you ready, Dad? Okay, come on up. How are you? I'm good. Thank you for joining us. All right. How you doing? Good. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started since it is now 10 o'clock. How's everybody's Thanksgiving? I'm not sure. Really lovely. Good. Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving? Good. All right. All right. So those of you that are new or just joining us to check us out, we do every morning on our weekly meeting, we do a icebreaker. And today Colette was nice enough to help us pick one out. And if you could be a character in a holiday movie, who would you be and why? A lot of you don't know this, but Tombstone is a holiday movie. I usually watch it repetitively, as Colette knows, and Eric too, right? So mine's Kurt Russell, Wyatt Earp. What about you guys? What do you got, Rex?
I'd be Jason.
Clark Griswold? You're gonna have to wrestle my dad for that, because I'm pretty sure he actually might be Clark Griswold. He works really hard, like a washing machine. If you guys have seen the movie, that's a line from it. Anyway. All right. What else? Tim? Elf?
Yeah. Probably.
All right. Solid. Okay. What about you guys? Anybody else? Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Come on. Holiday movies here. No? You guys are killing me right now. Home Alone? Ralphie? Okay. Christmas Story. Thank you. All right. Man. What was Kevin's last name in Home Alone? McAllister. That's right. All right. All right. We'll move on. You guys are killing me today. We're all still full from Thanksgiving or something. Okay. Welcome, new agents. Kelly, Gianni, Michael Carroll. I don't have your photos, so that is not you in this picture. Caleb, welcome. Caleb, you're 19, going to be 20 in a couple weeks, right? You know who else was 19 when they got started in this business? Myself and my dad, actually. So welcome.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. All right, and Regina, I don't think we actually officially welcomed her on the last meeting. And then Lori McIntosh. I think I always mispronounce it, but welcome everybody. December birthdays. Judy Taylor, December 17th. Colette is turning big 40th birthday coming up. All right, Caleb, we just discussed this. Happy birthday coming up here pretty soon. All right, this is a big one. Big announcement right here. Tim.
Nice job, Tim.
Yeah, congratulations, Tim. This is a big deal. Tim's only been in this business for 14 months. So huge. Congratulations, buddy. Also, one more big announcement. Also, Tim, November top producer for units. All right. Big round of applause for Tim and our own Buddy the Elf. All right. There's a great photo of Tim somewhere online about with that outfit on, I believe. So, okay, couple of housekeeping items. California contract class is back on today, correct? Okay. That will be directly after this meeting for those of you that are brand new or visiting that you would like to join that. Every Friday, the pitch. Thank you, Rex, for continuing to host that. Yep. And then next week, next Wednesday, will be call night. We canceled last week because obviously it was the day before Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, Colette and I will not be here Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday because we will be in Michigan onboarding a 71 agent brokerage that's going to be joining EXP. So we'll be out there with John Pugh, my sponsor that brought us into EXP, and his assistant, as well as Peggy Reef and her assistant. It's all hands on deck to go out there and help these guys jump on. So if you need anything next week, we'll be on Slack, but she will not be present. So you guys will have to figure out and navigate your own lives and start being adults around here. Just kidding. She just does a lot for everybody, and I know that. So what else? Anything else that I was supposed to mention that I didn't? Okay. Again, call nights starting back up next week. If I was you, I would all be here for that, or doing it at home, calling your clients to start wishing them happy holidays now, right? Next week's a good week for that. And everybody will be in here making calls. We have food. There might be an alcoholic drink or two, maybe a soda if that's what you prefer. Danielle. Yes. We should have probably had that in the housekeeping items. She probably did tell me to put it in, but did you remind me? And I'm kidding. So pictures with Santa, December 15th. What time? 3 to 6. And little hint here. I will be Santa. Sorry. I've tried to fit down a chimney. It didn't work. And Michael will be my elf. So if you guys want to get some humor and some entertainment in your lives, make sure your schedules are cleared for December 15th. Okay. And it will be here at the office, correct? Okay. All right. What else? Oh, Christmas party. If you have not yet paid, please do so by the end of today, correct? And we have to get our orders into Oliver Brewhouse by when? So we need to know what you want for food. Otherwise, we're going to guess, okay? You don't want us to guess because it will be red meat all the way, because that's what I would pick. So if you want chicken or anything else, you got to let us know. Okay. Let's see. Gerard,
Yes.
would you mind coming on up? Good. All right. We have Gerard Brazil joining us today. He owns a credit repair company. He's going to be given a 10-minute or so.
Just tell me when to stop it.
Go as long as you want, man.
No.
All right. Well, welcome, Gerard. Thank
Well,
you for
thank you.
taking the time out of your day to come talk to us about this. And I'll give you guys that are newer a brief explanation here. We do a lot of online leads, obviously, and not everybody is always credit ready. And Gerard's company helps them repair their credit to get them ready to get in a loan or other situations. Obviously, it's not always just to get a home loan. But anyways, I'll let you take it from there, and let me know when you're done. And I'll take that.
All right.
over.
Just
All right, man.
ding the bell when it's too long. Again, thank you very much, Culbertson, you guys allowing me to do this, Colette and Megan for inviting me out. So my name's Gerard Brazil. I own Paradigm Credit Repair. I've got a few cards you guys can take afterward. And I'm going to spare you with all the boredom of, background story, blah, blah, blah. We are locally based. I've owned this company for about 9.5 years now. I was in it before and realized that, hey, you know what, there's a lot of holes and a lot of things missing in this. I've worked very hard and spent a lot of my own capital to try to get this figured out the right way. How we're different, The reason why we're different and that we're successful is because what we do works, and it works the legal way. I had a construction company that I used to work with a lot of, I don't know if you guys may have heard of Invitation Homes in Blackstone. Those guys, I've known a lot of those principals. I did really well with that business, and then it busted, right? So it took a lot of my resources, and I have a lot of friends that are attorneys, and we went through things and just went through and found out a way how to legally get items removed off of your report. And that's what's important, because a lot of times what companies do when they say, hey, we're going to repair your credit, they say they claim fraud on your account. They do what's called a 605B. It says, hey, look, oh no, this isn't mine. So it comes off your report. I don't work that way. That's unethical. If there is something legitimately fraudulent, yeah, then we use that same form. But 9 times out of 10, it's not. People get collections, late pays, whatever. What we do is called factual data. So that basically means the bureaus have to report a certain way. And if they don't report a certain way, the items need to come off. So they need to have proof. We put the burden of proof on them. Let's just say you got a collection, right? You sold all this and whatever. You didn't make the payment, you got a collection. Collection goes from the collection company to the bureaus. Now, that bureau right there says they have the right to, or you have the right to say, I need to see the original contract. Now, the original contract is probably going to come from, just say AT&T, but the collection company is from, say, Placer Collection Company. Right there is a violation. You have the contract with AT&T, not Placer. Immediately, that collection is null and void. So they violated what's called the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, by doing that. By doing that, they put a kink in your livelihood, right? Because your score goes down. And you can't get a loan, everything else goes back. So because of that, we use certain letters that go to certain people in the bureaus. That's why a lot of these online things don't work. You go to Credit Karma, you hit dispute. What that does is goes into the little trash can and it files it. And you only get one of those. Every time you do, then it blocks it. So what we've done is figured out a way to get around that, to actually get our letters to legal departments inside the bureaus and to the actual creditors. That's the simple way of how it works. You know, there's a lot more inside, but you know, that's for us, and those are trade secrets that you don't get. We've worked very hard for those, but that's how it works, and it does work. Most times people ask, well, what's that, my time up already? They ask, well, what's the average amount of time it takes? So the bureaus they used to have 30 days to respond, but now they have 45 because of COVID. So we send a dispute in. Now they have 45 days to respond. If they don't respond within 45 days, it automatically comes off. Sometimes they do. They say, well, we did find this to be correct. So then we send out another one. Typically, it takes at most 3 to 4 rounds. So at 45 days, you can get the idea. About 120 days. A lot of times they come off a lot less. I had a client just yesterday said, thank you so much. 45 days on the dot, 120 points. 4 collections came off. They're good to go. Guess what they can do now? Buy a house. They couldn't before. So they were a 525. Look where they're at now. So now they're working with the realtor. Now they're working with the mortgage broker. You guys can kind of see how this goes hand in hand, right? What we do is try to make this as simple as possible for the agent and the client as possible. I have a full team that works very closely. Everyone is always in the loop when the client has an interaction. You guys are in the loop with our client, with your clients as well. Do people typically drop the ball? Of course, that's sometimes why the credit is an issue, right? Not all the time, but sometimes the ball gets dropped. But we have a good team that makes sure that we send out constant emails, say, hey, look, you need to do this, you need to do that. You're running behind on this. And so with that being said, we're always able to stay on top of the credit issues. Because typically most times people forget. So that's what now I want to open up to questions, because I don't want to ramble on. You're like, oh, this is great. I can be sipping holiday eggnog. But any questions? Mr. Culbertson.
Yeah, do you have like a tracking system? For instance, one of the reasons that we were glad to have you come in is we get a lot of remarks from our agents that you know, I talked to somebody, but their credit's bad, but you know, their work, they think they can get it fixed, that kind of thing. So let's just say that Mary Smith refers somebody to you who's a realtor. is there a way that you track it so that once you repair that person's credit, Mary Smith is notified that, hey, the Jones, it looks like the story you just told about the person at 520 up to 650. Is there a way to track that?
Yes, good question. So we have a personalized CRM. So you guys have all heard of Salesforce, right? We don't use them. But the reason why is because we went to Salesforce and asked them specifically, because one thing about Salesforce is very, very expensive.
Yes.
And everything you have to do is an app that you have to upload to it. That could not work. We got about 45 grand of an estimate to maybe have it possibly work. So for about 12 grand, I had it built. And so with that, what that does is it takes it with Salesforce, you have a household and then you've got underneath that. So we've developed it where with the credit repair, and of course the client has to sign a disclosure that the agent is okay with knowing what's going on. So let's just say you have a Mary Smith, whatever. You get an email says that Mary Smith just got her contract. Mary Smith did not sign her contract or pay. So every day when she gets a reminder, you get pinged on it. When her letters go out, you get a copy of it as well. When she has deletions removed, when she has a score update, you get that as well. When she's completely done, she gets an email from us that says, guess what? Congratulations. You went from a 300 to a 700. And yes, we've seen 300s, 300 to 700. And it will tell the time, we'll say, let's say in 90 days, 120 days, whatever long. Also, if she does not send in the appropriate paperwork, which that is very important, when the bureaus are working, when we're working with them, the bureaus have to send letters back saying you did get this removed or you didn't. That has to be sent to us. If they haven't had it sent, you get pinged as well. It's not up to us to babysit them, but we will send an email out. As the agent, it behooves you to say, hey, look, I know you guys got this because I got a letter saying you did too. Can you please move on this? So we've developed a personalized system so everyone use the agent are not out of the loop. So you can kind of push a little bit. We push a little bit respectfully, but this is your commission. This is your life. It's up to, you may want to push them a little bit more because it does happen quite a bit. Any other questions? Yes.
I'm guessing, how do you charge the client? Is it based on how much repair? Obviously, how much repair are you doing for them? Which time is home?
Yes, that's true. So what we do is we charge a flat rate. And so the reason being, we used to charge per item. And what happened was, and we used to charge like 250 to 300. We found that we were pricing clients out. Like, why are we losing business? Well, we're pricing people out. We want to really find a cap. And so we did the numbers and we kind of averaged at about $1,700 per client. That's fine. That's doable. We brought it down to $1,500. That basically means anything you have on your report, we will remove and work to remove it for a total of $1,500. Now that can, based on volume, if you're sending in a lot of people, we will definitely adjust that. Some of the items that can be removed: collections, late pays, bankruptcies, liens. Now, when I say bankruptcies, anything that's already in the courts, we don't have anything to do with. We can get it removed off of your report. We can just basically get it so it doesn't show. If you have a bankruptcy and you're already paying on it, it being off your report doesn't mean stop paying on it because you're going to be in trouble. But we can get it to not show. But the other things, the collections, the late pays, the same with the tax liens. Keep paying those. But we can get those removed and the debt that's associated with it. So that's the good thing. People, $1,500, that's a lot of money. Well, we're removing $20,000 worth of debt. You tell us which is worth it or not. Anyone else?
No questions?
Yeah, awesome.
Great job.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for your
Yeah, we'll
time.
put your contact information on our Slack channel and we'll get that from you, or you might already have it, but yeah, thank you. I really
Cool, I'll leave
appreciate
some
that.
cards.
Yeah, you can leave
Right
stuff
here.
here too if you want. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see, Dad, I believe you're up. Do you need all 5 pages of that or?
Maybe. We'll see. I'm not gonna
Oh,
so much time. Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome.
All I have to do is move this up and down.
All right. Got a lot of people online too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You guys all see online? Okay, great.
All right,
Solid feedback.
we'll go ahead and get started here real quick. Good morning, everybody. Wow, come I turn around, new faces, shiny faces around here. That's great. Okay, a couple things real quick. I wanted to, before we get into this, for those of you that weren't at PCAR, which is everybody, besides me, yesterday, they announced something that PCAR, oh, you were there. I'm sorry, Jason. Yeah, and Sam, actually Sam showed up, which is kind of cool. But for those of you that are new, we've had the same basic contract in California since 1986, right? And now it's going to change dramatically. We've been talking about it in our group for a long time. I sent out a tutorial that the guy from Balboa, the guy that runs the broker for Balboa Realty in Southern California does, and he does a really good job, a real good job. If you have 15 minutes to watch it, it'll update you pretty well on what to prepare for, because what we heard yesterday at PCAR, and I don't know, I have a message into CAR, they're going to go ahead and have that contract, whether it's going to be populated into zip forms or not on December 15th, I don't know. But can you imagine, Torin, if you go in to write your contract on December 15th and all of a sudden there's a brand new contract, right? Obviously we have templates. Most of us use a template. For those of you that are brand new, you just set it up and it's just sitting there waiting for you, right? We have the old contract there, the existing contract. I don't think they're just going to arbitrarily blow that out and replace it, right? So there will be a phase out period. But what will happen, because this is what always happens every time we have changes in contracts, is some companies will start using the new contract on December 15th. So if you have a listing and the new contract comes in, you know, you're obviously going to need to know how to explain it to your clients. So December 15th, the new RPA is going to come up. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Again, I think it's a great contract. And it's a lot easier for the consumer to understand. Once we get used to it, and it happens every time we have a contract, you know, standard forms at CAR changes things, everybody gripes for 2 weeks, and then invariably somebody says, you know, that needed to be done, right? This is going to be the case with a new contract. Fire hardened, I just posted something this morning. Fire hardened, the document itself is not a CAR document. It's a California state mandated document, right? It's like a TDS, right? So what it states in there very clearly is on any property 1 to 4 units where TDS is also required, we also have to have the fire hardened document. So Kelly, who I think might be online, Kelly had sold a house up in an area that was in a high fire zone area. The listing agent did not give her the fire hardened disclosure. And the reason for it was in that particular area, they don't have what they call a local ordinance. Okay, you've got to remember, this all just went in, and I know some of you new people are like, this is, I'm talking Greek to you, but for everybody else, the fire hardened disclosure just went in July, on July the 1st, as we all know, right? So it hasn't been around for a long time. Everybody's trying to figure it out. But what this listing agent said, rightfully so, is because her community that does not have an ordinance, it falls, if you read the document, which I hope you all will do, it falls on the buyer to have the inspection done within a year of the closing of the property. So Nicole goes out and sells a house up in a high risk area, but that doesn't have an ordinance that they've put in place for that particular community, right? And a year later, her buyer may get notification that they've failed to meet the expectation. They're going to call Nicole and they're going to say to Nicole, hey, Nicole, what's this? And she's going to go, oh, yeah, that's the fire hardened thing, right? We don't want that to happen, right, Nicole? So what we need to do is we need to make sure that our clients understand that this document is state mandated. It's just like the TDS. It's not an optional form. We have to have it filled out, okay? So I put some information in your, again, in Slack. I reached out to a couple of the hazard companies. Nobody has as of right now. Somebody will, because it's a great opportunity for them to grab business. JCP, American Home Shield Hazard Company, nobody has their own opportunity to go in and type in an address and have it come out, whether it's in a high area or not a high area. right? That's not available yet. I think somebody will come up with that, but it's not there. There's a link that I gave you all that you can type in the address and you can kind of look through it and see if it's in the California Division of Forestry map. It's hard to see, to tell you the truth. So what you're going to end up doing, Dylan, when you sell a house, next time you sell a house up in outside of Grass Valley, you're going to have to call in the address and have one of the hazard companies check it for you to see if it's in an area of high risk. That's the only thing we can do at this point, right? Placer Land Trust, there's documents up here. We had a situation that happened. The agent asked me not to mention her name, so I won't. We had a situation, nobody's fault, right? The listing agent, what do I tell all of you new people? The number one recipe for disaster in the real estate business. Brand new listing agent, brand new buyer's agent, brand new escrow officer, and a brand new mortgage person, right? It was not to that point, but it was pretty darn close, Shani. So the listing agent listed the house. She's all happy, right? First listing. Our agent sold it, one of her first sales. It's in the Placer Land Trust area. Nobody mentions it on the contract. The house sold for $750,000, right? So somebody's going to have to pay $3,750. Who's going to pay it? It wasn't indicated in the contract. It didn't say it, right? The law, the ordinance says that the seller is responsible to pay it, right? But the listing agent didn't tell her seller, even though her seller probably should have known, because when they bought the house, it was probably there, right? So the listing agent and our agent are, guess what they're doing? They're splitting the $3,750, right? So up here is a list of all the streets that fall into the Placer Land Trust area. If you sell a house basically off of Fitament in Roseville, that area over there, there's a good chance it's in a Placer Land Trust development. So keep that in mind. So those are three things that came up this week, along with, we'll talk today at 11 o'clock. We had a bunch of stuff come up. Lisa, congratulations, put her first deal together. Megan wrote her first offer. Got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today. So, so that's going to be good. The contract. We had talked about, you know, what are the differences? What are the similarities? This is the new contract, page 9 of 15. The old contract was how many pages? 10, right? The new one is 15. So it's grown how much? Some of you that are really good at math, 50%, right? There you go. So we've got 5 more pages that we need to understand that we didn't used to have to understand, okay? So this page right here, page number 9, if it looks very, very similar to one of the existing pages in the contract, it's because it is. They didn't change it much. Seller's right to cancel, the buyer's review of documents. So here's a question that came up this morning. Is the final walkthrough, which is technically called the condition of the property, right? On the final walkthrough, is that a contingency of the sale? Is that a contingency? It's not a contingency, right? Technically, if the seller failed to do the repairs that they said they would do in the contract, technically, the buyer has to go after the seller after the close of escrow to pay for those repairs that they didn't do it, right? But they have to note it on the walkthrough form, the condition of property form. The real world is we do a walkthrough and it's not done. We say, wait a second, we're not closing, Sherry, not until this stuff gets done, right? So the question is, where does it say in the contract that the property has to be delivered to the buyer in the same condition as it was on the day they made the offer? And does it say that in the contract? It does, right? So we have two contradictory things. We have the walkthrough, which basically isn't a contingency of the sale, but in the contract, it says that the property has to be in the same condition. And where this came up, Nikki's up at a walkthrough right now. She sold a house in Grass Valley. She didn't know that squatters had been coming in from time to time, doing what they're going to do in the house. So the house isn't in the same condition now as it was the day she sold it. So her question was, what do we do? Well, we have to do what? We have to put the seller on notice. How do we put the seller on notice? We do an addendum, right? And we also send that to the listing agent. We inform everybody we need to get this done. We didn't buy the house like this, right, Nicole? right? So that's basically something, little things come up pretty much every day. But remember, we have some contradiction in the contract where this is a big one, where the walkthrough basically isn't a contingency of sale, but the condition of the property being pretty much the same as it was the day the offer was written is actually in the contract, okay? So how do I go to the next page? Go ahead.
Good question. Hold on, let's try this one. What is going on here? Well, might not be.
Might be going to the next page. Okay, I have it here. I wasn't a Marine, but I'd be a good Marine because I'm always prepared. All right, numbers. All right, so you can't get to the next. So here, guys, just kind of think of this. Page number 8 of the new contract. Okay, I speak loud so you can hear me.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. No, technology. The new contract has the defensible space disclosure and addendum on the top of page number 8. It talks about what we just talked about, that it's mandated that we have that fire hardened in there. For those of you in Orange County, you get out on the other side, you go out towards Temecula and that type of thing. It's a real big deal. We had that big fire down there a few years ago. So make sure that you understand that, because what's happening, and before I forget, for brand new people, write this down. Next Tuesday at 10:30, I'm doing a listing presentation class primarily for the new people, right? One of the things we want to talk about is how to use your knowledge to get to obtain a listing. And where's Haley at? Haley's here somewhere, I saw. Haley, way in the back. Haley had a phone listing presentation. Lauren had a phone listing presentation that they're talking to people. So that warms, I'm not gonna say the cockles of my heart, because I know you don't like that, but it does. It makes me excited. We're starting to get a lot of listing presentations. So next Tuesday at 10:30, we'll be going through that. One of the things that I think a lot of people don't talk about enough on their presentation is what happens once somebody comes through the front door. What is it that we do to earn our fee, in essence, once somebody comes through the front door, right? What happens? What do we do to make sure that once a property is sold, that it actually has a 99% chance of closing, not just going into escrow? We'll talk about that stuff next Tuesday. So one of the things that's new in the condominium plan development disclosure, which is on page number 8, it doesn't say it, but where's Kristen? One of the big things that we have a challenge with HOAs, and this is something that we didn't used to have to worry about too much a long time ago. There's 2 things that have happened since July 1st of this year. The HOAs can no longer restrict the number of tenant occupied users within an HOA. It doesn't just relate to condominiums and townhouses, it's any HOA, up to 25%. The other thing that's coming down, okay, the other thing that's coming down, and this is what we had a sale fall through, is the HOAs are very restrictive on street parking, right? Where they say that you can't park your car on the street. Colby just got a ticket the other day for that, after 10 o'clock or whatever it is. But the new contract makes note of that type of thing in it, right? So for those of you that are brand new, this is, again, it's Greek to you. We have several communities, especially Lincoln Crossing, right? That's very strict on what you can do so far as parking goes. So the worst thing that we could have happen would be for Megan to go out and sell a house in Lincoln Crossing. They just glance through the HOA docs. They don't think anything of it because that's what we used to do for years. It's just what it is. It's $165 a month or whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. If somebody buys a house in Lincoln Crossing and doesn't understand, and they have 5 kids all in high school, and they're not going to be able to park all those cars in the driveway, we're going to have a problem, right? So one of the things we like to talk about in our meeting is there are some unique things that we need to remember about in our communities. Again, Placer Land Trust. We've got, if you sell a property in any of the Sun Cities, they've got their fee, which, by the way, how many of you know that the fee has been suspended, right, in Sun City? And the reason being is they call it a landscape improvement fee, right? The landscape improvement fee has to be approved by the city that it's in. So the city of Lincoln hasn't yet approved the landscape plan for Sun City in Lincoln, right? That's a mouthful, but they will because they want that money, right? So it's gonna happen, but right now it's been suspended. So if you're closing a house, Lavon Carroll, who one of our agents that you guys never see, she just turns in sells a lot of houses out in Sun City. She said, "Oh my God, my clients were so happy they didn't have to pay the transfer fee, right?" And I said, "Oh, that's news to me." But then I had sold a house in Sun City, and I remember Doug telling me that there was a big push with the city for the city to pay back that money, right? So we'll see what happens there. The other thing that it's going to point out, who knows what a clue report is? A clue report. All right. Cameron always has been an A student. He continues to excel. A clue report, and it's the insurance business comes in and comes out in terms of importance in our industry. Most of the time, what happens, we go out, we sell a house, it's going to close in 21 days. On the 20th day, we tell the buyer, "Oh, by the way, you got to have insurance," right? Because we forget about it. So they go ahead, they get a binder, we close the transaction. Can't do that anymore, right? We need to get the insurance company involved ahead of time. A lot of it is because of the cost of insurance in California, even if it's not in a high fire area, right? What the clue report shows, and they're going to start doing it, it's written in the new contract. What happened when mold was a big deal back in the 2000s, insurance companies stopped insuring in California for a while, right? And the reason being is it's one thing for an insurance company to cover a fire damage of $15,000. It's another thing for an insurance company to cover what happens to a young child who's been affected by mold to the tunes of millions of dollars, right? So the clue report was a workout with the insurance industry, which basically shows if there was an insurance claim on the property in the last 5 years for any water damage, right? Anybody been, I know Judy remembers that. So we had, when the clue report came down back then, it was a big deal. It happened, it went away. The clue reports are going to come back again, right? Where the insurance industry, Robert, if you're an insurance company, you're going to want to see the clue report. And part of it is why? What's happened in California in the last 3 years from an insurance company's perspective? Fires, right? So we're up on the forefront again. So they're going to be checking out a lot of different things, not only the location of the property in terms of the severity of the concern, but also the clue report. Page number 9. It's basically a boilerplate from what happened on the prior contract. Nothing really different. The thing that I would tell you all to do as you're going through that video that I sent out, it's on Slack. Spend a lot of time going through the first 4 or 5 pages. That's where the differences are, right? The first 4 or 5 pages, because what they did is they lined up all the things that somebody has to pay for in one area, right? Title insurance, escrow fee, those types of things. So again, we'll talk more about this in the class today at 11 o'clock. Today's class at 11 is going to be a very elementary class because we have a lot of new people that are putting their first deals together. So Wendy, there'd be no reason for you to show up. But for the new people, please make sure you come, because we're going to talk about things that are going on right now. We have transactions out looking for signature. Rex has a couple contracts out trying to figure out why the listing agent won't respond back to one. A lot of things like that happen, right? So we'll talk about that today. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of you have asked me about books, right? What books, when I was your age, actually, I used to read books. And I know it's a concept that's long gone, but one of the books that came out a long time ago, that's a great book, and it's Jim Collins is the author, and it's called Good to Great. If you want to, if your friends or family's asking you what you want for Christmas, and one of those things might be a book, get the book Good to Great, because it'll tell you a lot about If you guys are trying to figure me out, if you read Good to Great, a lot of Good to Great is kind of how I've tried to guide my personal self as I've built my career, right? Is there's certain things, there's this part of the book that talks about a fox versus a hedgehog. And a hedgehog basically, foxes run all around. A hedgehog has single purpose, right? Find out what you're really good at. Find out what you're really good at and focus on that. Try and if you have a passion for it, you almost become unstoppable, right? So one of the things that I've noticed over the years with people that get into the real estate business, and this is something for the new people to remember, is most of the time, not all the time, but probably 90% of the time, the people that become successful in the shortest period of time in this business, they start carrying themselves successfully before they're successful. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? Right? The way that they communicate, their body language, even to the point the way they dress sometimes, right? I've watched new people come into this business for many, many years. I've watched people that I thought should just blow the top off the ceiling, do okay. And then I've watched people that a lot of people thought, Jeff, why did you bring her in? Jeff, why did you bring him in? Right? And for whatever reason, they so believe in themselves that they become successful. Because here's the thing about the real estate business. A lot of you don't remember this, but there used to be a great commercial on TV, probably the greatest commercial that the United States Army, Cameron, this is probably why Cameron joined. It's called An Army of One, right? It was an army of one. It was a great commercial. And they used it, for recruiting, that type of thing. In the real estate business, we're here to help you, right? We're here to help you, and we do our best to make sure that happens. But at the end of the day, Jason, right? We're all an army of one, right? So pick up the book. It's called Good to Great. It talks about how what Jim did is he went out and looked at hundreds of companies, and he figured out certain things that those great companies have. One of them is they have one of the big things that he noticed is most great companies have leadership that has humility, that understands that they don't know it all, and they're not necessarily this bigger than life personality. As we talk about in this group, you guys are all in the real estate business. This is your own business, right? You sell real estate, you list real estate, you refer, you can grow your business. I mean, Tim and Cameron, congratulations. You guys are doing great, bringing other people into the business. We're excited about that, because what I know is 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 7 years from now, the people that bring people into the business, right? Then those people go on to do great things, and they bring people in to do great things. One of the things that Glenn is talking about, Glenn's the founder of EXP, is he believes we'll have 500,000 agents by
Within 5 years.
within 5 years, right?
We're at 69,000 as of yesterday.
Yeah, it's incredible. We joined, there was 23,000 agents.
Year and a half.
Now there's 69,000 agents. It's again, I've been doing this forever. It's the fastest rate of growth by tenfold that anybody's ever seen, right? And the reason being is it's so agent centric. Everybody can participate in the success of the company. So anyway, again, Good to Great, it's a great book. The other one, for those of you that are looking, because somebody asked me the other day, what's one of my favorite books, and Kobe knows this, Michael knows this, Torin knows this. Those of you that have been in my house, next to my easy chair, I have 5 or 6 books all the time. One of them that has never left is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's right there. Torin, if you're wondering what that blue and white book is, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? I used to have Good to Great, but Kobe borrowed it and I never got it back. But,
It's on my easy chair.
again, it's what we talk about. Yeah, we talk about real estate, and Nikki Tanner a few years ago was nice enough to have that done. I truly believe that the most successful people don't get into real estate gets into them, right? Carry yourself successfully, right? Don't act. It's like I told Haley and Lauren, before you go on the presentation, know what you're going to talk about. Be proud of the team. Sell the hell out of the team. We've got huge success here, right? This is why I chose to be involved with a team that has connections to the Bay Area, that has this unbelievable connection to online leads. Learn how to sell that, learn how to carry yourself a certain way, right? So anyway, things are good. Looking forward to the party. For those of you that haven't, you'll get to meet my beautiful wife. She'll be there. And I think my brother is going to be there too, Michael's dad. So I'll apologize right now for my brother. No, yeah. Which one of my brothers? My brother Mike, not all my brothers. And my daughter will be there. Caitlin will be there. So that's great. So I didn't even know that. So that's great. All right, thank you.
Now it's really a party. So a bunch of your nieces and nephews. All right, good job. So switching gears real quick. I like to do this every now and then, but sometimes we forget. Thank you, Colette and Danielle, for everything that you guys do here. I know I kid a lot and we tease a lot, but it's on the weekends, I'll see Danielle slacking me about something and yell at her to get offline, right? And stop working. Same thing with Colette. Like, last night at 8 o'clock at night, she's worrying about, something with onboarding with somebody. So if we can all say thank you to them, I think they would greatly appreciate that. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Also, another way of thanking them, so by the way, I was leading up to something with that, would be to fill out the form for the pending and the listing sales, because a lot of you still don't do it and they have to track you down for information. And here's more importantly, the reason why. All those social posts that go out about your new listings or your new pendings or your new sales, or when you join us, those don't get done unless you fill that out. Also, we're hiring a virtual assistant to start taking off some of the workload that has been put on these two because of our insane growth. So it's more important today that you guys fill that form out than it ever has been before. That person's not going to run and track you down like Danielle does for a photo of your new listing or your new pending sale. They're not going to track you down to see if the price changed on the pending sale right before it closes to make sure the commission demand's right. It's up to you guys to actually, one, be independent contractors. Also, two, adults. That's a solid spot to start. And actually worry about your own business just like they do. All right. I want that to sink in. Everybody's here because we like paychecks, right? Well, we want to make sure that they're accurate when they come out and that they're not spending time unwinding that too when it doesn't, because sometimes they'll find out 2 or 3 days later, or when the check gets here, hey, this was wrong, or we made a concession and it actually should have been based off of this amount because we adjusted the price. Well, how are they supposed to know that? Right? It's up to you guys to tell us what's going on. All right. So that pending form and that listing form is super important. If it's as simple as a price adjustment or a concession that was made, just message them in Slack. They'll go in and adjust it. Okay. Anything else that I should add to that? Oh, yes. If your client is not in Chime, we can't actually add the information to it in our SISU boards. All of the competitions and challenges that we do, the information that I use to find out who the monthly sales volume and units leader was, that all gets fed from Chime into SISU. All right. So all these boards and everything that usually are working, that's how they're powered. And if it's not in there, Colette also can't go in there and add those details. Neither will the virtual assistant, because they won't even know that it exists. Okay. So I just want to make sure that's super clear. If you have questions about that, obviously, if you're brand new, don't worry. We're going to show you how to do all that stuff. Also, if you're like, hey, what link are you talking about for this form? Simply message Colette or Danielle or myself. If you want it faster, message those two, and they'll send it to you. Okay. Don't be afraid to ask for that if you can't find it. It is in the general channel. It is pinned. But again, if you can't find it and you don't want to dig looking for it, please just message them and they'll send it to you. All right. Any other questions about that? Concerns about that? Great. Solid. All right. Listings. Anybody?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Okay, I'm meeting today, clients. It's gonna be 4,400 square feet. It has a built-in pool. It's on almost 3/4 of an acre. It's in Roseville. Be 1.6. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, with 4-car garage, RV access. It has a pool house, and they redid the backyard. They took out the old covered patio and they put a brand new one in there. Has heaters, it has a outdoor kitchen, it has a fire pit. So that'll be listed today possibly. I'm gonna go there today and take photos and a video to put on Slack so our agents can see it first. It won't go to the market now, but it might be sold soon through this office. So it'll be 1.6. So if you have any questions or if you want to go look at it, I can get you guys in this week, possibly.
Awesome.
But let me know. Okay?
Cool.
Thanks.
Anybody else listings? That,
Yeah, real quick. I've got 18 lots for sale in Auburn. They've already been permitted. Danielle and I think Cameron is going to help me with it. It's listed at 1.8. What I think is going to happen, if you guys know builders, I'm going to try and put together, I did it in San Jose a few years ago. I don't think I'm going to find any one builder to take it down. So we're going to talk about possibly bringing 3 or 4 different builders in as a partnership. You guys have builders that have some dollars and would like to build something besides a box house. These are going to be this beautiful lots, really nice lots, right in the middle of Auburn on the corner of Incline and Dairy Road, which is a really nice area. So those are on the market. And like I say, if you have a builder, because we can't sell them off one at a time, because what happens when you do that is everybody wants the best lots and nobody wants the lesser lots. So
$100,000 a lot is pretty cheap right now.
well, yeah, if it's there's still offsites that need to be done. So
Yeah, not much though.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else listings? Cameron.
It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 14 square feet. Has some nice updates done. I have quite been inside here. Just talked about 0.1 acres, living on acre. 475 or 375.
Okay.
I think 475.
Nice. And
These two both have each.
one each.
This is number.
Wow. Cool. Okay. Good job, ladies. All right. Anybody else? Listings? Oh, Renee.
I have a Ron Ward build on Argonaut coming up. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, just about 2,300 square feet on a 13,000 square foot lot with RV access to like solar. She's going to be contingent. We're trying to get her to Sun City. So if anyone knows anything is coming up and anything else, but 675, hopefully on the market soon.
Cool. Anybody else?
Colby,
Vivi?
I do. Yes. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath off of Florin, really close to I-5. It's going to be listed on Friday for 1,300 square feet.
Awesome. I want to go quick. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
Vivi?
you.
Vivi Mason. Mason. We have 2 Vivis. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else on Zoom have listings coming up? Okay, real quick before we jump into the quote of the day. We're hard to believe here, I'm literally a month away from the start of a new year. The start of a new year generally means goal setting should be happening now, right? And a lot of you have come and asked me to help with that. And I've let you know we're going to do that in a group setting because we now have 112 people or something like that in our group here. Let me ask you guys a question, a few of you here that are doing some production. Tim, what are your goals for next year?
I want to double.
You want to double it? Why? How? Work harder. Solid. Okay. I know I put you on the spot. Sorry. Wendy, what do you want to do next year? I'm not a miracle worker. Okay. How much production do you want to do? 30 million? Okay, why? I like that reason. How?
Probably staying better. I think I'm gonna do some big stuff.
Okay, awesome. Okay, wonderful. See what I'm doing here? A lot of people don't really know why or how. They're not thinking about it yet. And it's not to say there's anything wrong. It's more so we need to document it. We need to be intentional about what we want to do. Last year, we sat down and we put goals together that were really lofty. Frankly, I didn't think we were going to hit what it's called a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. If you guys haven't heard of that yet, essentially that is a stretch goal in any other corporate workplace. We had a stretch goal of, I think, 220 million in volume. And I want to say we had it at 350 units. We're going to eclipse 550 units this year. And we're going to eclipse 300 million in volume, I believe. All of that is absolutely insane to me to think about. Frankly, what it tells me is I didn't set the goal high enough. The fact that we've achieved that is a testament to everybody in here. The point is, we actually wrote down how we were going to do it. We also wrote down why we were doing it. And then on the same piece of paper, we had the actual numbers. We also had 3 years from now what we wanted to do in 10. We're going to do that together is the point. Okay. So we're going to put together a date, and I believe we're going to try to do it on Wednesday, the 14th, instead of having an actual team meeting that day. And I want to actually sit down and do that in probably 2 group settings because we're getting pretty big here. We will do it on Zoom and we will record that. But we're going to do the same exact worksheet that we do. And it's not super complicated. It's not a 50-page business plan. It is 2 pages. And it is very simple to look back at and glance at. And you're going to do that every single quarter. But we're going to show you how, right? And then in between now and then, I want you to think about why. Because if you don't know why, none of it's going to happen. Right? And I promise you'll find reasons to quit on yourself if you don't know the reason why, somewhere in between, because 365 days is a long year. All right. All right. Outside of that, really proud of everything we're doing in here. And again, it's hard to believe that we're already almost to January, but we're almost there. Quote of the day, and then we'll get you out to the contract class. If you do what you always did, you will get what you've always gotten. That one's pretty simple. If you show up and don't make calls, and you just sit here, drink coffee, a little bit of water, hopefully now and then, your results are probably going to stay the same. All right. But if you make the calls, you start doing the follow-up, you get outside of your comfort zone, I promise you good things will start to happen, but you have to stay committed to it. And part of that's going to be knowing why. Right. So anyways, that's the quote of the day and the week. Get after it this week. Please, please, please make sure you guys are updating Chime. If you're brand new to us, start getting your contacts into there. Okay. Jordan. Yes, you can.
Tomorrow night, we have our YPN monthly mixer to get Solly's Bar and Grill, 5:30 to 8:30. There is a best dressed competition, so if not your favorite Christmas attire. We do have a food sponsor, so there'll be appetizers. It'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So is this like an ugly Christmas sweater type best dressed, or what are we talking about?
Anything you want it to. I mean, you can show the sample.
All right. Have you seen Tim's closet? All right. Yeah. So YPN, for those of you that are brand new, is Young Professionals Network. That doesn't mean just realtors. That means insurance people, mortgage companies, vendors. I mean, you can probably explain it better, but there's really nobody that's not invited, if I'm correct here. So if you're perfect, and I'm going to show up for a couple hours. Go ahead. Well, yeah, young is a mentality, right? Flores can't go. All right. Contract class starts in 10 minutes. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, have a great week. Thank you.
All right. Welcome.
What happened? Oh, our printer's broken.
Oh, does it?
We have somebody coming in right now to
Okay.
fix that.